Live coverage of the G20. Bob Chapman for the next 30 minutes is going to be joining us, maybe a little bit longer. The international forecasters. We break down the economic side of what's happening with the New World Order. Military police are getting out of cars, running up and snatching and grabbing people and cramming them into police cars. I mean, it is something out of the Soviet Union or Nazi Germany or Maoist China. This is all off the charts. The USA Today, Obama set stage for New World Order. Other papers reporting he's now president of the world. CNN reporting he's now chairing the true body that runs the UN, the 15-member Security Council that has all the power. The General Assembly has no power. One member of the Security Council can veto the other 180-plus members. All of this is happening. They're openly announcing to get rid of the dollar, a new global currency, which will just be cashless, and the private banks. This new bank of the world will be the world government. They're now admitting that. You're going to pay a carbon tax to private banks, a Tobin tax. We're going to talk to Bob Chapman in one moment. Let's go to Bob Chapman, former stockbroker, former gold broker. At one time ran the biggest private newsletter out there, came back out of retirement with the International Forecaster, also worked in military intelligence. Always great to have him on with us. We were off last Friday, so we skipped our meeting with him, but it's good to have him here. Bob, quite a momentous occasion. They're openly announcing Obama as president of the world, openly announcing he's the head of the UN Security Council, the real power position in the UN, the chairmanship, openly announcing world government and an end to the dollar. This is amazing.
Well, it was expected. We didn't know when, but it was expected, and it's happening. It's still going to take them a long time to try to implement this. They're going to get all kinds of heat from the American public and the public of other countries as well. And I think their pronouncements regarding cutting back on the amount of money and credit and the amount of money being issued by central banks to keep banks within their systems functioning, all of that is a smokescreen. They cannot cut back. If they cut back, the whole system collapses. Now, it all depends on when they want to collapse the system, too. But I figure they'll try to keep it going for about a year and a half to 2 more years, and then I think they're going to pull the plug. And that what I mean by that is they'll stop inundating the world economy with money and credit and shut it down. It will go into a deflationary depression. They'll probably accompany it by biological warfare against everybody in the world. And then I think they'll make their move for world government.
Continue, Bob.
I think that this meeting is really a facade for something more important that they've got planned down the road. They really didn't go deeply into anything except each country auditing one another to make sure that they weren't getting themselves into any further financial trouble. And that would be overlooked by the IMF. And that's a new development. They also want world regulation of all securities transactions. They also want to tax it as well, incidentally.
And they're openly announcing in Times of London, BBC, AP, Reuters, everything we've broken down they would do because we were reading their own documents for decades. It's no surprise, but for the public it is, who was denying what we were saying, that the very same private banks that created the derivatives bubble are now going to be the world regulators, and it's going to be a private bank of the world that we pay our taxes to, and then the UN just serves as their military enforcer along with NATO and the United States. And Obama said in speeches, America must serve the New World Order. And the media is praising him, saying, oh, he admits America isn't powerful anymore. I mean, this is unbelievable treason, Bob. And to see him chair the UN Security Council, something no president would do before on the rotating council because it's unconstitutional, Article 1, Section 9. Speak to that.
Well, you're absolutely right. But to these people, the Constitution doesn't mean anything. They are the ultimate law. They are, they do what they want to do. And they're going to continue to do that as long as we let them. And that's why your program and programs like it and the publications such as The Forecaster is so important. And believe me, we discussed this before. We are reaching the public. They are waking up. And the military knows exactly what's going on at all of the medium to lower levels. They know what the government's pulling, what they're doing. I have them on every week on one of the programs, and the information that comes in is incredible. In fact, we just got a heads up on, and I don't know if you've heard about this, but there were 3 ships which were out of San Diego, and one of them, I guess, off the coast of Spain.
Yeah, it's in the Associated Press.
Right. But I've got the information from some of the wives of these people. And so it'll be in tomorrow's issue as to the fact that 2 of the senior officers in one of the ships died with this experiment that they pulled using American military people as guinea pigs.
Wait, are you saying Project Shad or something similar has been reignited?
Yes. In fact, I will send you a copy of what I'm putting out as soon as we get off the program. I just sent a piece to Bill Deagle, who had requested I send it to him when I got the information. And I'll give it to you as soon as I get off the air. I can't do it at this very moment.
Is it okay if we link to it at that point, or you want us to wait till tomorrow?
No, you do anything you want.
All right.
This is public information.
Okay, good. We'll get it up. Now, I just want to be sure, Bob. A separate issue. Then I want to talk about the police state going on in the G20, the suspension of the First Amendment publicly by the police, literally hitting children with sound cannons on video, in photos. I wanted to bring this up to you. Classic MO, like we've seen in all the other cases, of where they provocateur some mentally ill person, or it's an informant patsy they set up. They admit in Dallas and in Illinois, they wanted to bomb a 60-story skyscraper in Dallas, where I'm from, the big pyramid building. They wanted to bomb a federal building in Illinois. And in each case, it says the feds made a bomb where the person's commander, they thought their al-Qaeda commander, gave it to them to go carry it out. And these guys are both out of prisons, which is where they always recruit them out of. And it's the same story every time, where they go, even CNN goes, oh, yeah, the FBI went and found the guy, let him, gave him the truck bomb, what he thought was a truck bomb, gave him the other bomb. Totally staged at the same time, now being blamed on Iran, as they openly say Iran now has hidden nukes, just like they said with Iraq, the WMDs that didn't exist, and that Israel may hit Iran. Can you speak to that?
Well, it's all a fallacy, as we know, and it's a setup, and they may be looking to attack Iran, finally.
And they're using the same script. They're just changing the last letter from Iraq to Iran, a Q to an N. We've had a lot of experts and former CIA analysts on. They're saying if Iran is hit, any one of the 3 scenarios is going to be devastating.
That's right, because I'm sure that Russia and then China will get involved on the other side. And it'll be nuclear warfare. There's no doubt in my mind, and all I can say to you is, listeners, go and look at some of the pictures of Hiroshima and Nagasaki a few days after the bomb was dropped. You won't want to look at it. There was nothing left standing virtually.
Well, I'll tell you why I believe it may have been green-lighted. Benjamin Netanyahu says it is. Medvedev, the puppet president of Russia, is saying, oh, we're going to go ahead and put sanctions on Iran. This came 2 weeks after Netanyahu, Jerusalem Post reported, as well as Moscow Times, traveled to Moscow in a secret meeting to get the green light to hit him. And then suddenly Obama announced they're not going to do the missile system now as a tit for tat. It looks like Russia may have gotten on board.
Possible, but I was told by my informants that they are now able to accomplish the same thing via submarine as they could have with the missile emplacements in Poland and the radar in Czechoslovakia. And I was told that Netanyahu was virtually thrown out of the office because he demanded that Russia stay out of it if if Israel went after Iran, and there was a big argument. And that's, I have to treat it as rumor in as much as you never know how good intelligence is. I had that in the publication on Wednesday, I believe. But one of my people wrote in, and I just actually published it the way it was. But, it's hard to say here what they're going to do because there's so much misinformation. And there's so much information that we don't get. This is a big thing. I do know that they're planning on putting 500,000 troops and mercenaries in Afghanistan.